Hi, welcome back to the Bermuda Expat series. If you're new to the channel and have come across this video, you may wish to check out my other videos in this series. They're all about living on this beautiful island of Bermuda. In my last video, which was called How to Move to Bermuda, I shared everything that I know about moving to the island. It was focused mainly on finding a job on the island and all the associated rules, as that is the most common way to move to the island of Bermuda. So, in this video, I thought it would add more context if I shared with you my own personal experience, how I came to live in Bermuda and how now I'm working from the island. In order to do this, let's rewind a few years back. In 1992, a miracle happened and I was born. Just joking, I'm not gonna go back that far back in time. I was actually born and raised in Turkey and spent most of my life in Istanbul. However, after graduating from university, I decided to take a trip to London and I quickly decided to stay. I initially found myself in a marketing job and later moved on to customer success role within a software company. I made many great friends in London, and this is also where I met my boyfriend Ben, which is actually a rather relevant point to how I ended up in Bermuda. He worked as an accountant for an insurance company based in London. A few years into our relationship, he was asked to travel to Bermuda for a 1-week business trip, and I decided to join him. I mean, who wouldn't, right? We both worked throughout that week, but I still managed to explore a bit of the island in the evenings and over the weekend as well. Now, I must admit I didn't fall in love with the island straight away. As beautiful as the island was, during our first trip, my initial reaction was that it was very quiet, almost the complete opposite of the vibrant and busy London life that I had become used to. Towards the end of the week and over the weekend, we got the best glimpse of what the Bermuda lifestyle looked like and what it had to offer. And I kind of warmed up to the idea of spending more time on the island. Ben, on the other hand, fell in love with the island the moment he stepped off the plane and didn't stop saying, "Let's move to the island. Wow, this is the life. Can you imagine living here for the whole week?" A few months after our initial trip, an opportunity within his company based in Bermuda office became available. We discussed the opportunity together to see if this is something we could do together. We decided very quickly that it was definitely worth applying for and that we could make a final decision later if we actually got the job. It took 4 months to find out he had been successful, and we now had an opportunity to go and live in Bermuda as expats. By this time, we had done a ton of research on what it is like to be living full-time in Bermuda, so we were quite confident that we could make this transition from London. The biggest uncertainty remaining was like, what am I going to do with my job? At the time, the job that I was doing in London was already a remote working position, so I was very hopeful that I will be just able to keep my job continue with my current company. Unfortunately, that company was concerned about the time difference and ultimately didn't agree to let me transfer my position. I knew that this could potentially happen and decided to take the leap of faith to the unknown anyway. So we packed all our belongings and moved to Bermuda. We actually didn't appreciate how stressful it's going to be to move to a new country, and I'll add to my list of videos the useful tips that we picked up while we were moving to Bermuda, and you can use it for moving to any place as well. So that sums up how we ended moving to Bermuda. Now I find myself in a brand new country without a job, so let me explain how I came to find a new job now and manage to work from the island remotely. When we made the move to Bermuda, we actually landed the island on 28th of February 2020 with a little did we know that it's going to be the pandemic year. that was already a difficult task for me to find a job on the island, and all of a sudden it became actually so much more difficult. Within 2 weeks of being here, everything went into lockdown, and the island's economy, like the other places in the world, became very uncertain. I reached out to all of the recruiters on the island that I possibly could, applied for various roles, and I even started to research what skills I could learn to make myself more employable on the island. I completed several online courses, boosted my CV, and started to learn the basics of coding languages as well. After a while, I was getting very demoralized because I kept on telling myself and kept on trying to persevere, but I must admit this was a bit of an extremely difficult situation and also mentally draining as well. Eventually, I started to see more companies that were open to the possibility of employing someone remotely, and I realized that this would be a perfect opportunity for me and my skill set because I didn't have any options on the island. I changed my tactics and started to apply for the jobs in the US that were advertised as remote positions. Bermuda is just a short flight away from the US, and everyone now is working from home, so I thought that the companies would be more open to employing me from Bermuda. Luckily, I was right, and I managed to find a great position doing a similar role to what I was doing in London. By all means, it wasn't an easy task, and it was very demoralizing at some stage, but I get to manage it. So this is my story, how I came to live and work in Bermuda. Hopefully it adds some context to all the information I gave on my previous video. If you haven't watched it yet and are interested in possibly moving to Bermuda, definitely check it out. And for my next video, I'm planning on sharing what you should bring to Bermuda, and I really wish someone had made this video when we were first moving to the island, because that would have been like super helpful. And what you should be bringing obviously varies depending on what you're gonna do. Are you gonna be coming to visit or like coming to move to the island? So I'll be making 2 separate videos. Also, to get the updates on the upcoming videos, hit the subscribe button and click on the bell icon to turn the notifications on. Thanks for watching and hope to see you soon. Take care. Bye.